There we go, green Mega Eagle. Ooh. Alright folks, how you doing? Okay, only me. So we'll be finishing up the compressor today. What's on the cards? So I want to put a load of tin work on it. I'm going to shroud that compressor in, get the fan taking the air right over the cylinders, and make a cover for the whole thing. Close the sides in, and at the back here we'll have a lift up lid so we can get to the fuel. Want to keep the compressor isolated from the engine, and also keep the hot side of the engine, that's this back half, isolated from this front half. So we're going to end up with a sheet of steel in there, and you know, keep those fittings out of the rain as well. First things first though, these tanks are currently just resting in their little cradle. Yep, and the idea was to bond them to the cradle with polyurethane. This is my favourite, Sika EBT. I eat this stuff all day long. Okay? Nice good stuff. That's what the roof rack on my truck is held on by, and it works beautifully. Yeah, a lot of faith in that. However, I've run out, and we've got some of this crap. Puraflex 40. So give this a go instead, and when it all goes wrong, I'll cry myself to sleep because I didn't use Sikaflex, eh? Alright. Either way, I'll do that first, so that can go off with the pipes holding it in the right place, and then I can take all this apart and know that my bottles are in the right place, yeah? Makes sense to me anyway. So the whole idea of bonding this, rather than welding it, is to at all costs preserve the original integrity of the tank, you know, because they're good solid tanks. We'll just give it a little wipe down first. Alright, I don't think this one lonely tube is going to be enough. Might get one bottle done with this one tube, and then I'll have to go out and find another tube of Sika for the other side. How much have I used? Oh, you know what? Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna do them both with this one tube. Probably a pretty silly idea. Let's take the other bottle off and get them well spread out. Okay, one of the obviously with the pipe work, I made I welded it first. That didn't work so great, so I remade it in threaded pipe. Originally with the welded version, I'd had a nice big stay running off these two bolts here, coming up here, because there's an unsupported length of pipe getting around to the bottles basically. Mr. Forge 20 picked up on that and reminded me that I needed to put a stay back on there, so I'm just going to do that before I forget it, and then we'll get on with the tin work around the rest of the compressor. So, nice little sheet steel strap. Okay, we've got the Jenny out. It's pissing down the rain outside, so I'll have to shout. And got my sheets marked out for a bit of bead rollering. Yeah, I'm going to put a sort of flute on these rectangular patterns, just to add a bit of rigidity and stop it flapping around when the engine's running. And we also need joggle at the ends along this line. joggle down there so that when we put the corners on, they meet up nicely. We need a little bulge here for the mesh that's going to go over the exhaust, and these lines at the top, this is where I'm going to fold it, so I'm going to have to cut these corners out at some point, but not now. We're also going to run a joggle in the other direction down at the bottom, just to put a bit of rigidity in the bottom of the panel where it meets the mud guards. Funny, I made this metal folder when I was building the dump truck. I said, like, at the time, right, you know, I won't keep it. I'll just cut it up and use it as scrap and make a better one. Or if I do keep it, I'll just tidy this one up, make it a lot lighter, because there's a lot of excess weight there, and I always worry about my toes when I'm putting it together. But as you can see, it has not changed at all. But hey, it works.
Things that only the killer would know. Leonard revealed details such as the fact that Beverly Lego had been strangled with her own underpants, which were left around her throat when her body was dumped, or that Julie Dawn Turner was throttled with her bra, and that Sylvia Maria Benedetti was beaten with a
Check out this little peach, eh? Jimmy got himself a spot welder. Yeah. Anyway, just gonna spot weld these bits together. And spot weld everything else together forever. So easy. So easy. You on? Yeah, she's on. She's on. tell it's working because the lights go dim.
One of a competitor's engineers, I forget the name, it was a couple years ago, and Uber got sued for a rather large amount of money for benefiting from those trade secrets. And I believe Uber had to sort of wall off those trade secrets, and then when the court ruled, they had to hand them back. The kit solution device is an easy to install device that can be bolted onto the soft serve machines when mounted on the machine and connect any technical training. So they collect data, 3 types. We don't know what those types are. Taylor makes it extremely difficult for owners of the device to be able to
Proceeds from one of the largest heists in American history may have ended up in the hands of the Irish Republican Army, IRA, thanks to notorious gangster Whitey Bill. The brazen heist from the Isabella Stewart Building Museum was orchestrated just a few days after St. Patrick's Day in 1990, and the lead...
Okay, so I've pretty much finished with all the bodywork on this thing. Got my lid on a hinge there. I unfortunately don't have any steel M4 countersunk screws, so these are held in with brass at the minute. Probably isn't the most suitable material from a hinge screws, but it'll be right. There's a nice 1970s industrial aesthetic going on here. I was aiming for 1950s, but you know, I'm quite liking it the way it is. Yeah, it's looking good. Looking good. It's not really about looking like anything, is it? It's just keeping these bits and bobs out of the weather. And I was gonna get carried away and put baffles in here to direct the air over the compressor, and then, you know, stop the warm compressor air going over the engine. But I just don't feel like doing that anymore, hey? This is taking too long. So I've got a couple of brackets to make to attach this panel to the chassis, and then I'm going to pull it all apart and paint it, reassemble it, and I guess I'll see you all again when it's done. Okay, I was just about to take it apart, and I realised I hadn't made a hole for my what's the name? Gauge. There we go, close enough is good enough. Just pop some holes in for the bezel, for the flange, whatever. That'll go in there nicely. That'll go in there, look at that. Hello! Stainless steel bezel on this, hey? That's very nice. Yeah, alright, cool. Hello? Right then guys, it's windy out here. It's the first time I've tried using my lapel mic, so no idea if it's actually going to work. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does, and I'm just talking to my hand like an idiot. Okay, so the compressor is done. It's finished. Look at that. So really, all I've done in this. Yeah, well, obviously the mic didn't work. This is just the back end of the compressor. And look at that, the lovely gauge set in there. Very nice. Yeah, guess what colour this is? Those of you that are classic tractor fans will probably know it. The color code is the shade is Empire Blue. Top marks for guessing what tractor it is anyway. Okay, so these are the toys that I've been accumulating over the last few months. My McDonald breakers. I want everything McDonald really in it. It's the last British breaker manufacturer. These guys are Scottish, I suppose. Yeah, the one up top, the big one, the DM11, that works. The little one that's got parts missing, that's probably a little bit more sensible for me to be using all day underground. Meow, cat. So I need to find some bits, but that's, these guys are still going McDonald, so I can still buy bits for these breakers. And that little one up top, probably a little bit too small to be useful. That black thing with a silver end, that's a pneumatic concrete poker. Yeah, I'm just showing the two connectors. The idea is that the big one, the big breaker, might be a little bit too much for this compressor, but because I've got two connectors there, I can plug my workshop compressor into the smaller outlet on this compressor and then run the big hammer off the big claw fitting there. Yeah, that should work nicely. Obviously got a clay spade in that big breaker. Very nice. Should chew up what I've got to deal with quite nicely. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. I wish that mic had worked. I'll have another go with mics. Yeah, whatever. This is the steel. 30 quid for this little lot. And it was a little whacker Newsom. I know predates Newsom, but just a whacker. It's a rotary drill as well. But the reason I got this one, it came with an oiler. And these oilers are, buy them new, they're 70 quid. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty fun assortment of bits and bobs to be messing around with. Yeah. If I use the big breaker intermittently, it should run all right off these tanks. Although I haven't got the output from the compressor itself, because I've got a 300 litre there. It'll probably run it intermittently. Anyway, we're running the compressor now. Well, this is most peculiar. We got up to, it's dropped quite a bit of pressure now. We got up to about 85, and it's leaking from the unloader. It pushed the throttle hard closed. We'll try and start it up again. Don't know why it did that. Maybe it's just a bit mucky. Plenty of oil in the compressor. I checked the engine oil. Let's have another go. Hopefully that was just a little I don't know. I don't know what I'm hoping that was. Hopefully I've got the gearing right in that thing. It shouldn't have, but it just did. Let's see if it starts up. Leaking now. I just reset it. I think there's a bit of muck or something in this unloader. My half of the unloader is working nicely. It's the original bit. Should have built it all from scratch, eh? Maybe it got more, I don't know. See if it does it again. I can just set the idle on that engine really, really high, I suppose. Let's see what that little hammer does at 80 psi. It's probably up to 90 or 100 now. Just got to adjust the unloader. These are only because I couldn't find my safety specs. I'm not trying to be trendy, guys. Don't worry. Nothing's happened to me. Yeah, hopefully if I use that, reset the unloader, then yeah, we'll be alright. It's only at 90 psi. But, you know, that's okay. This thing should run at 90. Hopefully when I pull the trigger, it'll kick the compressor back in. Yeah. You're probably going to say, like, serves my wife a warranty, that's what I find, you know, I suppose. Okay, I've got the lapel mic back on, and it's still very windy out here. All right, okay, let's have a little look at this compressor. Right, so I'm having problems with the unloader at the minute. I have had a little bit of shit come out of this thing, you know, crusty weld bogies and whatnot. So I'm going to pull that apart. This last time though. Yep, obviously the the wind's too bad for that mic, which isn't actually working. So I was would have been better off talking into the camera. I'll figure it out, lads. Don't worry. So yeah, basically the consensus is that there's a lump of crap in the unloader, and I'll strip it down and get it working properly. Don't worry, it's kind of working now anyway. It's just a bit intermittent as when it's cutting in and out, and and what, I don't know. So at this point I'm just apologising for not having put a video out for 6 weeks or so. 40 days or something YouTube says. Yeah, it's just been summertime basically. You know, the school holidays and whatnot are just about to end. So basically I've been working, doing the normal stuff, fixing airplanes during the day, and I've had a night job working at an abattoir, maintenance guy, you know, fixing the lines when the abattoir's down. It's really enjoyable. And that's how you haven't really seen much of me, I suppose, because I've been absolutely knackered trying to do a couple of things at once, and I'm just having a week off now in the last week of the school holidays to actually see the family, like, you know, which, you know, probably should at some point just say hello to the kids or something like that, you know. Yeah. Meow, another cat, same cat actually. Yeah, anyway. That's where I've been. You know, candle burning both ends, something like that, I don't know, but it's all getting back to normal now anyway, so it should be all right. And you know, back down the hole soon enough. But you know, when the hole is finished, about the same time as the hole is finished, I need the cement mixer finished at the same time. So I'm going to try and get you a video on the hole fairly shortly. I've had some troubles, you know. It's been a bit of an adventure. But you'll see all about that. I won't spoil the fun for you lot, eh? And but yeah, I need to crack on with that mixer anyway, because I'm going to need my precast sections to be nice and hard by the time I actually want to use them. Anyway, I'm going to start rambling at this rate, so I'll bid you all farewell, folks. I hope you've all had a lovely summer and picked up all the sunshine you possibly could. Apart from, you know, obviously there's a lot of you folks that are in Australia, isn't it? Like, I bet it's only just starting to pick up there after the middle of winter, isn't it? Like, weird old thing, isn't it? Like, I still never get my head around it, but anyway, right, that's all I've got to say. Quite like the way this has turned out. Could have perhaps put a little bit more care into getting these joints nice and tidy on the tin work, but you know, for the amount of time I spent on it, it came out nice. So that's all that matters, isn't it, really, eh? I'll catch you all later. Take care, folks. Bye bye.